In all of motorsport, there are two forms that are uniquely American: drag racing and stock car racing. And each has a sort of apprentice program that provides plenty of cubic thrills. On the quarter mile, the high-revving terrors of top alcohol serve as the training ground for tomorrow's straight-line stars. While in the oval ranks, NASCAR's up-and-comers learn to lean on their machines within the circular confines of concrete. From these competitive crucibles, the heroes of the future are forged. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of American Sports Cavalcade. I'm Steve Evans. We know from your cards and comments your two favorite forms of motorsports here on TNN are NHRA Winston drag racing and any kind of NASCAR stock car racing. So for the next 90 minutes, we've tied the two together. I and my merry band will be here in Pomona, California for sportsman action at the Winston Select Finals. And over at Phoenix International Raceway is Mike Joy and his crew. Mike, why don't you kick it off?
Thank you, Steve, and welcome to Phoenix, everybody. Today at Phoenix International Raceway, NASCAR's Southwest Tour will decide their 1994 champion. And there are 7 drivers with a mathematical chance at the title. Steve Portingay is the point-standing leader. Rookie of the Year Mike Kofer is in there. And they'll have to battle the Southwest and Northwest Tour stars and some invaders like Winston Cup's Ken Schrader and ASA's Scott Hansen. Promises to be a tremendously exciting race here on the Phoenix Mile. For now, though, let's rejoin Steve Evans at Pomona. Welcome back to Phoenix, everyone, where the NASCAR Southwest Tour Championship will be decided from among 7 drivers. It's a beautiful day for racing here in the Pacific Southwest, and I'm really happy Darrell Waltrip is standing alongside me instead of right where he was on the last lap of this race last year.
Oh, man, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed some of that last year. You know, we got a caution late in the race there, and I think we went down and got tires, and Schrader was leading the race, and he didn't. And I was chasing him down coming off at 2 and going into 3 over here. And I just caught him going into 3, and all of a sudden my spotter started screaming, "Stop, stop, not slow down, stop." So when a spotter tells you to stop, you know it's big. It's a good thing I did, because we come all around the corner here and look off at turn 4, and Rick Corelli and a whole bunch of them had crashed. The racetrack was blocked, and Schrader found a little bitty hole to go through, and I found a little bitty hole to go through, but he beat me to the line by maybe a half a car length. I think the guy that finished 3rd even went down pit lane. That's how bad it was.
And that incident denied Rick Corelli the championship. So here today, Buddy Baker, 7 drivers fighting for it. How will their race differ from that of the drivers who will run for the win?
Well, the guys that run for the win, of course, they go all out. They don't have anything to lose as far as points, so they'll give it everything they have. The guys running for the points will have to protect that, but they need a car that can win the race if they need it. So the thing that I think, if you win the race, you certainly have a better chance of winning the championship.
As Dale Earnhardt aptly proved. Now, the man who's on the pole for today's race has already clinched his division championship. Let's meet him with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, Garrett Evans has already locked up the NASCAR Northwest Series championship. He came down here to Phoenix today to try to win this Southwest race. Garrett, a lot of strong competition back there today. Can you hold them off?
Sure going to give it a try. I like to run up front, and the car's working real good, and the motor's been working real good, and we're just going to give it a good old shot.
Well, as I said, he's got his 3rd Northwest Tour title. He's won 33 races on the Northwest Tour, looking for his first Southwest victory here today. Let's go to Randy.
Well, 24-year-old Steve Portingay will start 12th in the 12th row today, 24th position. He's the current series points leader. Steve, the question is for you, will you drive to win this race or to protect your points lead?
Well, basically, I'm gonna drive real conservative for the first part of the race, and we haven't won this year, and the Michelin teams brought me here, and we've come a long way to get where we're at right now, so I'm not going to do anything foolish. But if I could win and win the championship all in one day, that would be great. But we're just gonna be real smart about everything, and if the Michelin and Chevrolet Lumina can get a victory here, we'd love it.
Okay, good luck to you.
Steve Portingay will be looking forward at a large group of cars and all around him for the 6 drivers that are chasing him for this championship today. We'll be back to Phoenix, Arizona after this. Welcome back to Phoenix as the field is in tow for the NASCAR Southwest Tour finale. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. Garrett Evans, the Northwest Tour champion, is on the pole in a Ford, and Rick Crawford, who was third here 1 year ago, has a Ford. That's your front row. Kenny Schrader won this event. It was 2 years ago. I'm corrected. It only seemed like last year that he beat Darrell Waltrip. And Roy Testa, third in all-time win list, in row 2. Lance Hooper has a shot at the title. Kenny Shepard 10th in the point standings. And Danny Crafton, who finished second here in '91, and Brett Bell, who won here in February. Rick Corelli, the '91 champion, and Bob Lyon, who won up at Bakersfield, filled the 5th row. Chris Trickle, that's Dick Trickle's nephew, and ASA's Scott Hansen in row 6. Doug McCown has a shot, and John Dillon. Row 8, Brian Germoni and Ron Hornaday, both in that point race. Dan Press and Brian Brown. That's Dennis Dyer and Toby Butler. Terry Henry and Gary Smith in row 11. Kevin Sawinski and Steve Portengay back in row 12, the point leader. Kelly Tanner and Mike Bonicelli. Kevin Harvick, Ernie Cope, Mike Kofer, Rookie of the Year and a contender. Ron Eaton in row 15. Randy Olson and Paul Peoples. Mark Meach. Dale Williams is in this point chase, last year's Rookie of the Year. Michael Alsop and Ken Boyd. Tom Sweetman and Martin Rossler, row number 19. And in the 20th row, Ron Esau won the last chance qualifiers race. Jay Sauter, that famous family up in Wisconsin. Jim Engelbright and Steve Holzhausen is the 42 car field. Now, it's a backup car for car number 7. Roy Testa crashed yesterday, wiped out his car. They had to haul one in from Lake Tahoe, California, 10 hours away in order to make today's race, and he'll start in the back. John Dillon was involved in that accident and goes home. Green flag. Garrett Evans takes off as they fan out across this wide front straightaway. Squeezed down into turn number 1. Evans, the pole sitter, in a Ford. Takes off out of turn 2.
Mike, sometimes these cars are really a lot better on the get-go, like it's their own biased tires, and they got the stagger right where they want it when they start the race. But with biased tires, it can change on you in a hurry. So a lot of times these cars will take off really quick, but then they fall back as they run a while.
These cars are faster around the Phoenix Mile than are the Winston Cup cars. And in fact, they're very similar to NASCAR's All-Pro machines from the East Coast.
Yeah, they are.
The car running in third there is Kenny Schrader. It's AC Delco car that you see coming in.
And the 5th place car just went up in smoke. Kenny Shepard, number 95, the 10th place point man. Big trouble in turn 2, perhaps in the oil from Shepard. 66 Mark Meach goes around. And there were 2 other cars that spun and then continued.
I don't believe we're going to get a caution out of that. They both spun around and kept on going.
That always makes you wonder, was they're all there or just overreaction there, because all these cars are getting through there clean. So what it might have been is one car slowed up and everybody just chain reaction a little bit.
Here comes Schrader for second, going to turn 3.
You know, I expect Kenny to run really well here. He won a race a couple of weeks ago in this car, and with these same guys, and he's fast here. He always has been. I've had some good races with him here. I expect him to be real fast today.
Now here comes Steve Portengay in number 14. He's moving up on Germoni. That is your title championship chase.
Boy, these guys came through there in a hurry, didn't they? I mean, They started back, 19th place, and they're up there challenging for the top 5 already.
There's a look at your top 5. Garrett Evans has taken off from Kenny Schrader and Rick Crawford's battle. Lance Hooper and number 56, Brett Bell.
I don't know what Garrett Evans has got in his car, but it's a rocket ship, man. He just checked out on everybody.
Germoni there, he gave way just a little bit. He's running a very smart race right now. I think he's got a little faster race car in his using right now. He just let that car go under him and just backed off, getting in the corner and let him go.
Second place battle here. Schrader in 52. And Rick Crawford finished third here last year in car number 1 out of Mobile, Alabama.
He's a hard runner too.
Ooh, he's almost hard against Schrader right there.
Yeah, he'll run hard, and he knows how to pass.
Could have won this race last year. Had a strong shot at it. Scott Hansen did. These cars are 2.8 seconds behind the leader, Garrett Evans.
Darrell, you look at Kenny Schrader there. He probably run 2 races last night looking for somewhere to run tonight. He's probably the most active race car driver in the United States right now. He is really miserable if he has to stay home 1 night a week. He just races all over the country, and he really loves to race. He's not doing this for money. He's doing it because he likes to race.
And he's got a lot of cars. No, I think we're going to have trouble here, guys.
Turn 4. One car slams the wall with the left side. And now 4 cars are in it. Here comes the field back to the line. And they split the 86, Kevin Sawinski. Caution is out. Let's show you what happened here.
Wow, the two white cars coming off the corner there. He just got into the quarter panel there.
He got down on that flat's what he did, and it kind of put him up into that car on the outside. And boy, when he did, away they went. And here comes the oncoming traffic, and this could have really gotten nasty.
55, Kevin Harvick was the white car that got turned and went hard up into the turn 4 wall, and it still sits there. Kevin Sawinski is the red car in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, the 65 car, fuel came out of it. Got a little fire out of the car, but it went out. Well,
you see, he got into the quarter panel here and turns him around. Now, Sawinski, he's just along for the ride. The red car there, right into the wall, head on and back across the racetrack. He really was doing everything he could to miss the wreck and got pushed right into the wall.
As the caution continues here at the Featherlight Southwest Tour finale, let's look at the top 5. We'll be back with more action after this message. Welcome back to Phoenix International and the Featherlight Southwest Tour. I'm Mike Joy with Buddy Baker, Darrell Walter, Glenn Jarrett, and Randy Pemberton. On the restart, Garrett Evans once again takes off. Rick Crawford is second. Kenny Schrader is third. And the fourth place car, Brett Bell, who won here at the Copper Classic in February. 56.
Boy, Crawford's coming on strong, too. I think he is a hard driver. And he has a driving style a lot like Dale Earnhardt, and he's going to chase down Garrett Evans. And Garrett is an easy-talking, slow-walking young man. So that's two contrasting personalities right there.
Well, right behind them is the Storm. Kenny Schrader, and he's coming on. He's running really hard right now. He's trying to close the gap with the first two cars.
Yeah, well, I think what Schrader will do is he knows this racetrack. He knows he's run a lot of races here. He'll be a little conservative in the early going, I think. Got a pretty good race going on back here for like 4th and 5th and 6th place.
Yeah, Darrell, we're looking at Ron Hornaday, number 97, two-time champion, who came in here 7th in the points. But Steve Portengay would have had to finish 42nd or worse for Hornaday to have a chance at the championship. Now that cannot happen. So there's Danny Crafton in 46, just ahead of the two-time champ. Ron Hornaday Jr. will not repeat. So there are now 6 drivers left in contention for this Tour Championship. On pit road is 4th place point man. That's Dale Williams. Here's Randy.
Well, he's definitely in it. It appears that he cut down the right front tire, but they've been working awfully long on the right front. He's already lost a lap as they continue to work. He's down in a very, very slow pit stop. I'm going to have to find out what happened to these guys.
And the lease car number 89 goes back out, and Dale Williams, title hopes dim. He came in here 4th in the standings.
Scott Hansen was really closing up in that white car right there, and he was really closing up quickly, and all of a sudden he went into 3 and 4 over here, and the car went real high with him, and he lost a lot of ground. So I don't know, maybe there was some fluid on the track with the 4th place point man coming in, and now him kind of acting like there was something wrong. Maybe some fluid on the track.
Having a look at Dan Press as he runs down Hornaday in that black number 25. Press is the driver and fabricator that builds the rear end center sections for a lot of racers around the country.
Yeah. Darrell, you see the line he's taking through the corner. You guys back home that run weekly, if you ever get your race car to handle like that 25 is in the corner right now, watch him go in the corner. And you talk about a car that's sticking well, he's just passing them at will right now, and that's what a good race car does.
Let's update the Dale Williams story. Here's Randy.
Well, I talked to crew chief Jackson Stewart. He said Dale did brush the wall. He damaged the wheel pretty badly, and also it hurt the hub. So the car is a little bit askew out there right now. So it certainly dashed his championship hopes, but he's back out there running.
Let's have a look at the top 5. We'll be back for more action after this. Welcome back to American Sports Cavalcade in Phoenix.
Wow. That was kind of breathtaking there down the front straightaway. These guys don't believe you can't run 4 deep into the corner. These guys are really racing hard right here.
Look at the guy taking all those chances on the inside. That's Portengay, your point leader.
Wonder if, did somebody tell him that he had the championship clinched or something?
Not possible. Not at this stage.
He's gassing her up pretty good right now.
Portengay finishes in the top 6 spots in this race. The championship is his no matter what the other 5 drivers do. There are a lot of different combinations of how this could turn out.
Well, he's turned pretty hard right now. But obviously has a good race car or he wouldn't be leading the points.
You know, Darrell, you hear every week from people, everybody has a different way of going at a championship. You've won championships. Did you ever really protect the lead?
Only a couple of times when we went into the last race knowing, kind of like this guy does, where we had to finish and what all the scenarios were. We had sheets just like he's got where he knew every possible scenario, and then we tried to run to that, whatever that pace was required. You got to know where, it's kind of like Elliott and Kawicki were a couple years ago at Atlanta. You got to know if you lead the most laps, and if he finishes here and I finish there, you got to know all those things when you go into the last race.
Portengate just moves past Brian Brown. He is 13 seconds behind the race leader. We asked Steve Portengate about just that. What would be his race strategy for this final event today?
We're just probably going to pedal the first 100 laps and, you know, about the last 86 laps, hopefully get some good smooth pit stops and just stay out of trouble and kind of do like we've been doing all year long. And not a very good qualifier, so we're kind of starting way in the back. We got to dodge some bullets, but I think everything's going to go okay.
We're just going to pedal the first 100 laps. Strategy is a great thing to talk about in pre-race, isn't it?
It really is. But if you notice, you know, we talk about how hard he drove. You look behind him. That's what he was trying to get out of. You see how those guys are running 2 and 3 wide right there behind him, and he was at the back of that pack a minute ago. He wanted to get away from those guys and get in front of them. That's pretty smart, really.
The 19 car, Bernie Coates, is having problems now. He's down on beneath the yellow line there. You have to get down there to get out of harm's way. He's coming in fifth.
And this group is running down the leader. Evans got caught in lap traffic, and his lead got cut from 3 seconds to 1.5.
Oh, gosh. I mean, he can almost see him.
Well, now, of course, these drivers, yeah, they're almost in the same county.
Garrett is, I tell you, if he wins the race, we do an interview with him. You're going to love him. He's got a real dry sense of humor. He's a funny guy. He's obviously a great race car guy.
He hasn't raced anybody all day. How would we know?
Well,
he just takes the green and he takes off.
Mike, I'm going to tell you, I raced a long, long time, and Garrett Evans is running a perfect race. Anytime you can race by yourself and run a preferred line around the racetrack every lap, it makes you look like you have a rocket. Now, if he gets tied up with a bunch back behind him there and starts racing position, you'll see he don't have a dominant car like he does out by himself.
You know, he's won at least 2 races each and every year in the last 10 years. No mean feat.
No, it isn't. That's what you call.
Oh, we have trouble in turn 2.
One car is spun and comes around. It's Mark Meach.
Uh-oh, Schrader.
Ooh, Rick Corelli just squeezed through there. And Schrader has spun to miss the incident.
Whoa.
And almost gets tagged.
That's a terrible place to be setting, Schrader.
That guy's spotter there that come through in that red car must have been asleep. I mean, he almost got Schrader way after the wreck was over.
That was one of the leaders, Brett Bell, who was right up behind Schrader. Just as we said, one little miscue will either put you from 5th to 2nd or up on the truck.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like Schrader's got some. I thought he just spun, but I believe he's got big trouble.
Yeah, look at the right front. Looks like the right front's down. Let's show it to you.
Let's see.
When you see that car just breaks loose, turns around, goes up to the wall, starts back down, that makes cars behind you wonder whether you're going to stay up there or come back into traffic.
And behind him, here's what happens as everybody checks up.
Yeah, Crawford, he checks up.
Oh, he got hit hard from behind.
Yeah. What happened was Crawford checked up. He saw it first. He slowed, and then Brett Bell, I think it is, rammed into the back of Kenny Schrader.
But I think the damage is when Schrader's right front hit Crawford as a result of that collision. He may have peeled back the right front. We'll see. There's Brett Bell's car.
That's that's big damage there.
Well, you know, yes and no, but it's not. As we said earlier, it's not sheet metal. They use plastic or urethane bumpers and body work on these, so looks bad. Wonder how bad it is.
If you know, if it didn't bust a radiator or tear up anything mechanical, he might be okay.
So as we're under caution here at the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300, let's have a look at the top 5. We'll be back for more action after this. Getting set for the restart here in Phoenix, where Garrett Evans has led every lap. Rick Crawford's in 2nd. Brett Bell hung on to 3rd despite being involved in the collision with Ken Schrader. As you look at the top 10, Schrader came in to repair damage and change tires and was over the line in his pit stall and got penalized a lap. They couldn't roll him back because they had already had the car up in the air. So there's Schrader, who is 1 lap down. He'd find it tough to pick up his 2nd victory here in 3 years. 81 also in the pits, Martin Rosler. correcting body damage as we go back to green. Once again, Garrett Evans takes off. This time Rick Crawford's a little closer as they go down into turn 1. See if he can run with him. And Rick Corelli moves past Brett Bell. Head up the car for third.
Well, Mike, Brett Bell's going to have a tough time. I don't care. When you hit a car that hard in the nose, it has to mess up aerodynamics. Plus, it probably knocked the front end out a little bit, so you'll see him drop on back.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling, buddy. I think I'd have come in under that caution and worked on that thing a little bit if it had been me.
You see Dan Preston's car, the number 25 car there. He's on a steady march up through the field. He's third car in that picture there. Oh, he got cut off just a little bit coming out of that corner. Probably a lot to him, but
Bob Lyon in 44 cut down in front of him. Now Bob is in the point chase, 5th in the point standings in number 44, coming into this final event.
Boy, he gets crowded off that 4th turn there. The cars really get close together when they come off of turn 4.
And up against the wall, 07 Lance Hooper. Hooper is the number 3-point man.
Whoa, Lance.
And he has crashed just underneath the Goodyear Bridge in the middle of turn 4. Caution is out. Well, let's break away from the racing here in Phoenix and head way west to Pomona, California. Steve Evans.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, I think milk's about to curdle. Press to the inside.
Boy, Dan's being real. He knows the car's good. He's being real cautious. Now, he could have driven it on in there. He's cutting him a little slack here. There he goes. I'm like Buddy. That 25 car, those 2 tires didn't do anything but help him. He's just quicker than he was earlier in the race.
yeah, you can watch a race car. When he cuts through traffic, he just steps him up and drives right up under him. Anytime you get that preferred line on the bottom part of the racetrack and cut that angle off on the outside car, you can move right on by.
I know Garrett Evans is slowly working his way up through there, too. It'll be interesting to see if Dan can handle him.
Well, they battled back and forth all year. Press lost the championship to Evans by only 3 points in the Northwest Tour.
No kidding. Gosh. So they're familiar with each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Darrell, you mentioned a while ago about Steve Portengay. One thing he won't do, he does not put himself in a pack of cars. Anytime he gets into a battle like that, he goes hard enough to get away from them, kind of run in a hole there by himself so he does not get trapped up in maybe a wreck or something like that. Smart guy. You see why he's leading the point standings.
Well, there's Evans going underneath the cow car, number 17, Randy Olson.
Oh, that old cow car, he's milking her again.
And we're told that Olson may be dragging a fender brace or some other piece of body work.
Right on the right rear there.
And they want him in to take that off.
Oh, now, come on.
Hey.
What in the world? It's just...
Yeah, they're ringing the cowbell on the flag stand for Olson.
Whoa, we got a race for the lead here, folks. Good grief.
Good thing. Rick Corelli has closed right down on Dan Press.
Well, there's a little difference in when they took on tires. Corelli got tires maybe 10 laps later than Press did, 15 or so. So he's going to be maybe a little quicker at this point in the race.
Well, you know, Rick Corelli, one thing he's doing right now, he's not using his car up there. He closed in car length at a time. There wasn't a second or a half a second every lap or anything like that. He eased his way up there. I think he's got a lot of race car left. See him trying to get the inside lane there, but that race car is really hooked up right now.
I didn't think he could run any lower on the track here than Dan Press has been.
I don't know. Corelli just went under him going down through there. Now he makes the move to the inside for the lead.
Press gives him a bit of racing room, and down into turn 3. Corelli made it look easy.
Yeah, he did. That car's got a lot of power.
The car leaking fluid on the back straightaway pretty heavily. Uh-oh, it's milk. It's milk.
Oh, that's a gas can.
Well, let's go to Glenn in the pit.
Well, guys, he came in to take care of that little problem for a gas and go, and he went before the gas got through, took off with the gas can still attached to the car. I think that's the fluid you saw leaking out. He's probably already worn a hole in that thing. Going to have to come back in unless that gas can detaches itself on its own.
And it appears it's not going to.
This has gone from bad to worse.
Caution on the speedway.
So as we're under caution here at the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300, let's have a look at the top 5. We'll be back for more action after this. Top 10 after the latest round of pit stops under the caution flag. Let's update what happened amongst the leaders. First, down to Glenn.
Well, Mike, Rick Corelli took advantage of that caution, came in and changed the left side tires that time, and also they completely filled the car up with fuel. Opportune time for a caution for him. They weren't sure they got it full in the last time when he changed right side tires, so now they say they're ready to go the rest of the way. Also, Toby Butler came back in again and changed right side tires, made another chassis adjustment. Not happy at all with his car. Randy?
Well, as far as Dan Press goes, it was likewise. They filled the car up with fuel, changed left side tires, had a little problem on the left front. A couple of the 5 lug nuts fell off, had to manually pick them back up by hand, stick them on the wheel, so he lost a bunch of spots. One other note, they did find a little blistering in the left rear, but they went quite a few laps on that set of left, so I think they're going to be okay.
Thanks, Randy. They went more than half the race distance on that set of left side tires. So we'll see how it shakes out here. Getting set for green with Scott Hansen out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Richie Waters Ford.
That car that took the green first there, Mike, is Brian Zeroni. And I think he's at least 1 lap down, and maybe more. And he's trying to get one of those back. I don't know if he can do it or not against this competition we got here with Scott Hansen and Rick Corelli and that crowd running the way they are right now.
Second place right now is Rick Crawford, and he's been hooked up all day. He's been one of the blue cars that's been very dominant in this race, and he ran second in the early stages of the race, and he's second right now, but I believe he has a little bit better car than the lead car is, and he should get by there and really open up a pretty good lead here pretty quick.
There's some good racing back in there right now because all these cars stopped sitting on the tires and really bunched up the field.
From these front 5, they're strung out just a bit.
Yeah, here's
real good racing.
Here's the good racing I was talking about. It's Ron Hornaday.
Oh,
really,
got a car loose.
Boy. Oh, and he took Hornaday with him.
Mike Bonicelli.
Oh, and it's not over. Ooh. Is that our pole sitter?
Yes, it is. He made the late pit stop and was dead last on the restart among the cars on the lead lap, and Garrett Evans got caught up in all of it.
This was right. I was just talking about the kind of racing, but you see Hornaday got down on the apron there going in.
Watch the red car, 47.
Yeah, the 7-up.
Real loose there. He turns back up the hill.
Right into Garrett Evans.
And Hornaday.
And Hornaday.
Wow, Hornaday hit hard on the left front.
Here's another look at it.
See him break loose. He loses traction. He corrects into this thing, and it takes a second bite right up the racetrack.
Man, clean the left front.
Boy, Dan Press did a great job of weaving his way through there.
And Corelli. Oh!
That was close enough. It just barely hit there. Knocked the nose cone off their pole car.
As we continue under yellow, let's move over to Pomona. Steve Evans.
Thank you, Mike. Daughter there for in the 4th place. And Dan Press is still in the mix. So got some good racers left yet. They really mix it up on these restarts. Boy, they get 2 and 3 wide. And really do some dicing around on these restarts.
You know, Darrell, you see Dan Press right there getting under Corelli in the middle part of this corner. He changed left side tires. They set that car on fire. They're bumping just a little bit there.
Well, they're used to racing together all the time. They don't give much quarter. And they don't take much quarter.
Dan Press in that black number 25. As they run off turn 4. Let's go down to Glenn behind Chip Wall.
Well, guys, I thought for a long time today I was going to be talking to Garrett Evans in the winner's circle. He had an awfully strong car, but Garrett suddenly into what looked like a real promising day. What happened out there?
We had the car working real good, but we had a little bit of vibration after the last pit stop. We were just cruising along and waiting for the next stop. And we come up to some lap cars, and it was that 7-up car, that pink car. And we come up to him. I got on the outside of Hornaday going into turn 3 and tried to box him in. I got him boxed in and started to go around him. And then I felt like somebody come up and hit that 7-up car because he turned right into me after I was going by the 97 car.
Right now, let's break from Phoenix. When we come back, we'll rejoin Steve Evans at Pomona.
Was tire stops galore.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Mentioned on the caution flag pit stops, Dan Press stopped at his pit stall over the line and got penalized the lap.
Whoa, ugly.
Yeah. Here comes Corelli on the inside trying to pass Hansen. down the back straightaway.
Well, he has found Scott's weakness, and it's traffic, and he's trying to capitalize on it.
With the car just ahead, 71, Ron Eaton will put Pirelli's number 6 back in single file order. Moving around a lap car, that number 89, Dale Williams, who also had a chance at this championship and still does.
Ooh.
Boy,
that was a power move there. You say, oh, Pirelli hit.
Whoa, that guy's in the grass, and he's probably going to come back.
under control.
Good job.
Good save.
Pirelli is taking the lead here, folks.
Second place.
Well, you're right.
Now, he'll be in the lead before we get to straighten this up. So I tell you, the fresh tires, he'll overhaul the guy leading right now.
To show you that wild ride there.
Pirelli cut to the inside. He did not see the car on the inside there. What a great save this guy made on the inside, not to spin and go out into traffic.
Ron Eaton, who on the restart was leading this race, the driver to dump E in that one. And now for the lead, Gary Smith gives it up to Rick Pirelli and Scott Hansen down on the inside for second place. Let's look at the top 5. We'll be back with more action after this message. Phoenix, Rick Pirelli looking for his 17th career Southwest Tour win. Let's get an update from Randy.
So Joe Garone is timing his driver who is leading Rick Pirelli. We'll get a word with him. Seems as though you're pulling away, Joe. Car's running great.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good run today. We've been fighting a power steering problem. The car's been real tough for Rick to drive. After this last pit stop, we got a good set of right side tires, and it looks like he's pulling away.
Is he saying anything?
No, he's pretty quiet on the radio. When we're having major problems, he talks a lot, but when he's leading, he doesn't say much.
Typical driver.
There's something on
Garbage
the front
in,
of that
garbage
car.
out.
I don't know what it is. Right around the second pin there, sticking up on the hood of Pirelli's car.
That's his sight, buddy.
Oh, okay.
That's what he lines up on.
Ooh,
Battle for 5th. 26 of Ken Boyd out of Ceres, California. Looking for 5th place.
There's Rick Crawford. He running way up near the front and runs second in the early going in the race. The 78 car.
Steve Holthauser.
Steve Holthauser. They're racing their hearts out right back here. You don't have to be running for the lead to have a good race.
Big smoker out of turn 2. I think that's a 7 car. Wow. Roy Testa.
Oh, and there's oil down there.
Oh,
6 car
yellow
caution.
flag.
Yeah.
This will be a race back to the flag.
46 car got down in that oil off of that engine. Almost went out.
Rick Pirelli leads them down to the caution. And now Steve Portengay becomes the Southwest Tour champion. The only remaining contender, Dale Williams, is 7 laps behind the leader and Portengay, so can't catch him, can't pass him, and can't win the championship. There's your 1994 Southwest Tour champ. Rick Pirelli, Scott Hansen, Jay Sauter. Here's the rest of the cars that are on the lead lap in Phoenix. The GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300, including the new champion of the Southwest Tour, Steve Portengay.
Well, I tell you, this restart's going to be critical for Pirelli because they did put stage ride down in the bottom of turns 1 and 2 down here, and he's got to get through that the first time. If he can get through there without any problems, he's probably going to be all right.
Boy, he got a great start there. He jumped about 2 car lengths on the second place car of Hansen.
4 laps to go. Does Scott Hansen have anything for him?
Well, that stage ride was down low enough. It wasn't a factor, but I don't know. Pirelli's car looks pretty quick right now.
Hey, Jay Sauter got a great restart since those 2 leaders are off and gone.
Now, Jay was quick on the restart before, and his car seemed to slow down after just a few laps, so that was a good thing for him.
Sauter in 3rd behind the 2 leaders. Pirelli looking for his 17th career victory in the Southwest Tour.
Scott Hansen went in that corner so hard, and that car stuck. I tell you, he had a great restart.
Oh, Hornaday almost got turned around by Gary Smith.
Now, Hornaday is out there with not much body left, and I don't think he can take another leg, but he almost got to use the back end of it that time. See, Hansen's car is tight. That's allowing him to get
get in the corner real well, but he's not getting off the corner quite as well as Pirelli is.
Black flag on Rick Crawford for jumping the restart.
Oh, no.
2 to go. Crawford was 8.
I would say that Pirelli right now is in a win mode. It's up to him to lose or to win this race, and he'd have to do something pretty bad to lose it because the race car is so fast down the track.
He's got one more lap to go.
Rick Pirelli, 1991 Southwest Tour champion who won in Tucson last month. Hansen again closes going into turn 1, as Pirelli's never won at Phoenix. In his second here at the Copper Classic in 92. Turn 3. And again, Hansen closes it right down coming into the corner. For the money, $7,500 plus contingencies. Rick Pirelli takes it off turn 4. Checkered flag. Pirelli wins it.
Hand out the window, cool breeze, taking it home.
I want somebody to say I picked that car from the very first.
Steve Portengay comes across, clinches that championship, the Southwest Tour. We'll be back to meet the winner and champion right after this break.